The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition, starts now.
This is The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition. Good evening, all. I'm Shoshina Roll. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news: police on Grand Bahama are aggressively searching for two men who they want to question in connection with a murder that took place on Grand Bahama back in March. Tonight, the officer in charge is sending a warning to persons who may be harboring these men. He says they too can find themselves on the wrong side of the law.
These persons are wanting, and they know that they're harboring them, they're assisting them from being captured by the police, and of course they can be charged as well.
The search continues for two men who Grand Bahama police say are wanted for murder. 27-year-old Fabian Livingston Roll, aka PJ, is a resident of Nelson Road and wanted for questioning in connection with the March 31st murder of Sean Andrew Smith, who was gunned down in the ghetto area. The second suspect, 21-year-old DeAndre Carvel Hamilton of the Heritage Subdivision Freeport, is a Mason helper who is also known to visit the Garden Villas area on a regular basis. Officer in charge of Grand Bahama ACP Emerick Seymour says their investigations lead them to believe that these men are still on this island.
One of the things that I'm concerned about as the assistant commissioner of in this district, you have people on one hand saying they're concerned about crime and elements of criminality that's happening in Grand Bahama. So am I. I'm every right as concerned as any individual, because as the chief law enforcement officer, I have to be. But then on the other hand, there are persons who know where these acts of criminality and these persons are, and for some reason or the other, they don't want to turn them in.
Grand Bahama's top cop says even if a wanted person happens to be your relative, it is your civic duty to call the police.
Harboring a wanted person is in fact an offense, and I want to send a clear warning out to those persons that if they know these persons are wanting and they know that they're harboring them, they're assisting them from being captured by the police, and of course they can be charged as well.
Seymour says every resident should want a crime-free Bahamas.
If you know where these persons are, turn them into the police. If get a hold of the assistant commissioner if that's necessary. But we want to bring these persons to justice. We want to clear up these matters, because we feel that once we do, then of course all of us in the community can breathe a little easier.
The officer in charge adds that the force can only be strong if residents partner with police.
Don't sit back and ask, what is the police doing? And then of course we as citizens know of these instances and know of these developments, know of where we can find criminals, know of these instances of criminality, and keeping silent about it. So you're just as guilty, as far as I'm concerned, as the perpetrators themselves.
Well, police are still searching for 31-year-old Hensley Sands. Now, he is wanted by the Drug Enforcement Unit for questioning on the charge of possession of dangerous drugs. Sands is about 5 feet 7 inches tall, medium build, with dark brown complexion. If you have any information on the whereabouts of DeAndre Carvel Hamilton, Fabian Livingston Roll, or Hensley Sands, you are asked to contact police at 352-9774 or 5-350-3106 through 12, 911-919, or your nearest police station. The man caught on camera attacking an alleged vagrant was hauled before the court today. Video of the apparent attack was shown right here on the Northern Edition last night. The suspect, 19-year-old Onassis Justin Williams of Hudson Avenue, was arraigned on the charge of causing harm before Magistrate Charlton Smith. Williams pleaded guilty to the charge and given a conditional discharge. He was placed on probation for 1 year. He was also ordered to provide 200 hours of community service and to compensate the complainant $500. Now, Williams is set to return to court 1 year from today, and the court will determine if all conditions were met. Now, if Williams fails to meet this condition, he will have to spend 6 months at Her Majesty's prison. In an unrelated matter, Williams was also charged with unlawful entry. He was not required to enter a plea. That matter was adjourned to September 15th. Bail was denied and he was remanded to prison. This charge is in connection with the matter reported to police on July 8th. A local air carrier adding another route to its itinerary just in time for the busy summer travel period. Sky Bahamas Airlines announced today that it is relaunching its Freeport to Fort Lauderdale route beginning this Friday, July 25th. According to Sky's CEO and President Captain Randy Butler, this move is in response to many demands from its customers to reintroduce the service. Butler says Sky Bahamas expects to service this route with its fleet of Saab 340 or 33 passengers aircraft. Meantime, the Ministry of Tourism is hoping for a hike in arrivals by the end of the year from both the Canadian and the U.S. markets. 2013 was a bad year for the destination, with just over 100,000 air arrivals. General Manager for the local tourism office, Betty Bethel, says the Memories Resort is now in operation on the Lucaya Strip, and that should help to increase air traffic to the island.
This new partnership, a year ago today in May, as of May, has increased our room inventory by 33%, has caused for our occupancy to go up, our room revenue increased by 36%, or $3.2 million generated as a result of this initiative and this partnership. And we are right now on schedule by the end of the year to hit 150,000 air arrivals to Grand Bahama Island.
But she says this anticipated growth must be maintained, and to ensure that this happens, all must get involved. The Teachers Tourism Training Program, she says, is one such effort and should be commended for teachers for bridging the gap between the industry and the classrooms.
Now that you have had the experience and you know the message that you need to carry, we are grateful that you're going to carry this message to your students. And you are going to be put in a position to influence new tourism industry leaders, new hotel general managers, new tourist and attraction and transportation owners. Now that you know what we have to do to sustain our economy, you are now going to play a very important role. So for that, we thank you. We thank you for taking on the challenge. I believe the theme for this year has been teachers meeting the challenge to bring about change. And I feel confident that that is exactly what you're going to do.
Stay with us. The Bahamas Tonight, the Northern Edition continues right after this.
Bringing news that matters to you. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Welcome back. The Member of Parliament for Marcos City, Greg Moss, providing some advice for graduates of the Bahamas Institute for Business and Technology on Sunday afternoon. MP Moss telling the graduates that they should be true to their theme and build bridges to the future, bridges in their minds and in their efforts. But in order to achieve this, he says that they must discover their passion.
I call to you to build bridges of conviction. That's the entire point. Be passionate about something. Do not stumble through life never having found your passion, because you have greatness inside of you once you identify that passion. Secondly, I would like to encourage you to build bridges in your efforts. That's a slightly different thought. It's one thing to believe that you're capable of doing something, but it's something quite different to sacrifice to do it. Many people could enter this great institution and believe they can graduate, but the graduates will tell you, believing is not enough. It requires effort. And so you must build bridges in your efforts.
Now, Moss says while building bridges to the future, graduates must be mindful to include their respective communities.
Where your passion lies, where your talent lies, share it in some way to help to build a community in which you live and in which your children and grandchildren will live, and leave it better than you found it. It's a very simple thought. Leave it better than you found it. So the idea there is that we must all give back, whether it's your church, your family, which is honorable, your country. Mirror what you are to others. Be engaged. We're not islands unto ourselves. Be willing to care, be willing to speak. Take the time to make a difference. These thoughts are not separate from your education and your aspirations.
And the graduation ceremony was held at the Grand Lucine Resort. Finally, in news this evening, a faith-based organization along with a local church showing their confidence in a leading government agency and are contributing to the social mission right here on Grand Bahama. John Davis Roll has the details.
The United Pastors Fellowship and a local church putting biblical principles into action as they join forces with a government agency to not only help the less fortunate, but to meet a growing demand for social assistance here on Grand Bahama. Pastor of Bible Teachers International, Bishop Marvin Weish.
We decided to partner with Urban Renewal because they are a program, an established program in the community throughout the island of Bahamas, and we just want to touch everyone that we possibly can. We know that some individuals might not come into the church for food or whatnot. So because they have already established this program and they assess everyone who is in need of food items or whatever, we figured it would be best if we team up with them so that they can touch individuals that we might not already touch or have an opportunity to touch.
An elated Deputy Director of Urban Renewal, Michelle Reckley, says she is thankful for the generous contribution, a contribution, she says, that will assist Urban Renewal to fulfill its mandate.
When I got the phone call, of course, every phone call that asks to help and partner, it brings excitement to me. But coming here this morning, I did not expect so much, and I am just so grateful and thankful because, like I say all the time, we sit comfortably and we do not know what's out there. We do not understand what our brothers, what our sisters are going through, and we don't understand that there are little children who from day to day still cannot find a hot meal of food. And this food today will go a long, long way. And again, this is a true testament of the saying, little is much when God is in it. And today I know God is in this because our offices have been flooded with calls looking for food, looking for roof repairs, and the needs out there are great. They are real.
Bishop Weish says the goal is to touch the lives of as many persons as possible who find themselves in dire straits. This, he says, is the first in a series of outreach initiatives planned by the church.
We have people in the community today that are truly hurting. We know that. We're not trying to convince them to come to church if they want. We want corporate sponsors to allow them to know that they are sensitive to their needs as well. And, you know, some people often say, well, the church don't do nothing for people, and these people making up all the money, they don't put nothing back in the community. So we want to encourage them as well, even if they don't want to be out in front. You know, allow the church to do its job. And, you know, because sometimes when the church acts, you know, people, they frown a face because the church only want and don't give back. But this is our way of giving back.
Meanwhile, Rackley says this is another example of the work this church is carrying out locally. Another project, she says, includes the feeding of up to 60 precious pearls at the various urban renewal centers here on Grand Bahama.
This is just a second step for Bible Teachers International Ministries. They also provide hot breakfast for us. 2 centers, Pine Ridge and Marco City, where we come here and pick up the food hot, and it is given to senior citizens throughout Marco City and Pine Ridge. So again, we want to thank them and encourage them because certainly they are doing what God wants us to do, and they understand whatever they do to the least, that they do unto Him. And we just want to say thank you so much again.
Joan Davis Roll, ZNS Network News.
Another Grand Bahama resident receiving the prestigious Icon Award, this recipient coming from the medical arena, and she says she is humbled by the recognition. In 2012, she released a study on children and their abuse of Tuscased linctus, and in 2013 founded the Grand Bahama Childhood Management Project, an organization that has hosted a number of workshops on asthma in children. While she says she loves research and helping kids, pharmacy technician Olivia Curry had no idea that her efforts would be recognized nationally.
A friend of mine who's a one young world ambassador, she put my name into the selection pool, I guess you can say, and then they sent me an email and said that okay, your name was entered into this. Do you want to accept that, or do you want us to take your name out? And so I was like, okay, cool, I'll do it, because it's something new, never really heard about it or whatever. So, and then maybe a few months later, a few weeks I should say, my sister called me at work and she was like, girl, you got it, you got the nomination. I was like, we just had a party at work.
Curry says she had no idea she would win an Icon Award in health. After all, she says she was up against some heavy hitters, 3 doctors from New Providence and another person from Abaco. But she captured the Icon Award, a feeling she says was undescribable.
I was kind of excited because I was like, okay, they're going to announce the category next. Like when they first started to announce the nominees, I was like, already? Like they could at least warm us up, get us into it or whatever, get into the flow. And so what I did was I was there with my cousin. So I grabbed the booklet from him and I started flipping through and I'm like, okay, let me read everybody's biography and see if I actually stand a chance. And I was like, okay, I feel a little good, but I'm still not sure because, these are people that I aspire to be like. These are people that we work along with daily. So it's like, I don't know if I'm going to be the doctor. I want to, but I don't know if I will. And when Mr. Rassen from Doctor's Hospital, when he called my name, it was like my legs just went. Everything was, I don't even know.
She says the Childhood Management Project has only been around for a year, and she is proud that she was able to capture the award. But the biggest story, Curry says, is not to allow anyone to tell you that your dream is impossible.
I remember when I first wanted to start the organization, someone told me that I was wasting my time, and they're like, nobody's going to come out. Leave that to the doctors. It doesn't make any sense. They'll learn about it at the RAND. And it's like, no, they don't. Because I work in the pharmacy and every day you have parents coming in, oh, they didn't tell us this. Oh, they didn't show us how to use this. Oh, they didn't. Oh, they didn't. And understandably, it's because they don't have enough time. So, and that's why we're here. We're the allied health professionals and we're here to work along with them. And that's what it's all about.
Stay with us. Ricardo Lightborn has a check on sports when we come back.
Welcome to Sports. I'm Ricardo Lightborn. Sports Tonight is dedicated to the staff at the Grand Lucayan Resort for allowing the Hackers to play in the tournament today. It was a great time. Well, the Caribbean Regional Little League qualifying tournament officially was opened on Saturday at the Americaribbean Baseball Stadium. Let's take a peek how that went. The parade of players started the celebration at the Ameri Baseball Park with the Aruba. Bonaire is in Pool A and ready to play. The Cayman Islands hope to go to Williamsport. Curacao tops the teams in Pool B and the Little League Experience. United States Virgin Islands came to play and will be in Pool A. Team Bahamas Freedom Farm will play in Pool B and will be hard to beat. Team Bahamas host Grand Bahama Little League is in Pool A and a home field advantage. MPs Greg Moss, Peter Turnquest, and invited guests taken in the opening. Pastor Wilbur Ouden asked God blessing on a successful tournament. The local organizing committee chairperson Donna Lang Jones expressed a hearty welcome to the country's fans and special guest.
To every player and coach, you are playing for your pride and your country. We welcome you. To my fellow countrymen, thank you all for making all of this possible, and we welcome you. To the hundreds of dedicated volunteers who are being so generous with their time, their energy, and their welcoming smiles, we welcome you. We also want to welcome our special sponsors for their dedication to the nation's youth and the sport of baseball. It is because of you that events such as these reach such high levels of excellence. We welcome you.
Morgan Hanna delivered the player's oath. Megan Shepard served as the mistress of the ceremony. Craig Kemp, Bahamas Baseball Federation president, put the countries on guard.
I truly believe that all of the participants and the supporters who would have come to our shores are in for a treat. You will have an experience in the Bahamas like you never had before. But don't be surprised if you go home empty-handed.
The DA for Little League Baseball, Eddie Claude, went on record from the heart.
This particular tournament will go down in history as being hosted in Grand Bahama. I predict that the next part of history will be The winning team of the World Series came out of this tournament, which was hosted in Freeport, Grand Bahama.
Member of the 2001 Bahamas Little League team, Brent Sands, threw out the first pitch to play ball. Then came the rain. Mother Nature throwing a curveball on the tournament on opening day. Take cover, guys. Stay dry until the showers pass. Well, even today, the rain hampered our play in the tournament, and we're still simply chatting about yesterday's game between the Bahamas area powerhouse Curacao team, defeating again Team Bahamas area, came away with an 11-3 win. Dalen Adderley got the win, striking out, starting and working some 4 innings. Ethan Bryan in relief, as well as Keelan Moss simply closed the door, and also grand slam. The kid was 2 for 4 at the plate and also with 5 RBIs. Earlier today, the Bahamas actually defeated the United States Virgin Islands 3-2. Curacao put away Dominican Republic 14-2. Puerto Rico also blasted Barnea 20-zip. The Bahamas hosts moved to 3-0 on the tournament with a 13-2 win over the Cayman Islands. Bahamas area and Aruba game that was rained out today, and hopefully they'll get those started 9 o'clock tomorrow morning and try to get sorted out so they can get to the playoffs on Thursday. Well, the return of the Grand Bahama Regatta was well received by the sailors, skippers, fans, and visitors. So, to Taino Beach we go. 10 sloops sailed the Grand Bahama Regatta at Taino Beach, and Series Race 3 was a good one. H2O with Effort Kemp at the tiller looking for the cannon number 2. The Barbarian had the lead in the race and sailing smooth. This is sailing, and just like that, Delwood Gibson has some problems and he is dead in the water. Here comes the H2O, no problems here, and they will take the lead in the race. But wait, the Thunderbird got it right. Josh Green now also passing the Barbarian. Boy, he's now in contention. H2O with some good water, and sailing begins and pulls away from the field. The same conditions favoring the Thunderbird and giving chase in second place. Delworth finally got his situation corrected, and the Barbarian is back in the race. Revelation 319 sailed by Stephen Knowles in the hunt and sailing. Then there's the second race. The sloops in the back are jockeying for position. Then suddenly the winds dropped out, the sloops are in trouble, and they are like sitting ducks. Richard Ross threw in the towel, and Sensali got pushed in. H2O stayed in there and got a puff of wind and took the cannon in race 3. Efford Kemp and the crew sailed the H2O to victory, and they are your champion. Second place finished the Thunderbird. Third place overall in the regatta. The Revelation 319 also get a spot, and they also finished 4th overall. Good job, Stephen. Sweet Island Gal placed 4th in the race. Keith Brown had to settle for 2nd place overall. The Barbarian finished 5th overall, followed by the Melva B, Dream Gal, Lady Rudnell, Uncle John, and San Sally. The Grand Bahama Regatta returned to the sailing circuit. It's a welcome addition. Well, folks, the health of a woman is, and then their wellness is of great concern locally. Now, Joan Davis Roll tried to get some answers to some of these health issues from a wellness professional, and she's doing her best.
The health and wellness of women are concerned for not only health professionals here on Grand Bahama, but for those who play a major role in physical fitness. Co-owner of Grand Bahama Fitness Center, Jennifer Wiley, says there appears to be a trend developing among fitness buffs on this island.
But nowadays there seems to be a little bit more of a transition than there was in the past, where they'll come and they'll work with the cardio and they'll work with an instructor on the weights, because I think everyone's starting to realize that you need to tone. That losing weight isn't going to work. You've just got to, you can lose the weight, but after that saggy skin is not appealing, especially to women. They just know nowadays that it's very important to go out and work with the weights as well.
Many believe that there's a direct correlation between physical fitness and mental wellness. Simply put, you feel better when you look better. For physical trainer Karen Wilson, helping women target trouble areas has become a passion. Proper diet and exercise, she says, are key.
The major problem area is their stomach, because everybody has a little tug, in their midsection, and that's something that a lot of women want to get rid of. And I always tell them, stop eating sugar. Sugar is just as dangerous as alcohol and tobacco. With sugar, you build your midsection and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Once you give up sugar, which is juice, soda, when you mix your tea, you put 6 spoons of sugar, which is wrong, which you should just drink it without sugar. With me, I drink green tea and water all day.
Wilson firmly believes no pain, no gain, and the results, she says, speaks for themselves.
You know what time we come in here, and it's hard for us, and I have seen tremendous weight loss on you.
Presenting Soul Sports, I'm Joan Davis-Rowe.
I got to tell you that the guys are there at the Grand Lucayan. Thank you guys, Bill Williams and Rasheed Robinson. Great playing with you, and also the general manager of the Ocean Club down there in Nassau. It was great to play with Rico. He was simply a good guy. That's it for sports.